The Suns lose to the Lakers, 122 to 119. Suns Geek is here. John will be here later. But right now, Suns Geek, I thought the Suns had this one. It was kind of back and forth to the 5-point lead, the 10-point lead. Like, oh, they got this. No. Cam Reddish redeems himself and wins the game for the Lakers today. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we were talking backstage. Man. I said right when Cam Reddish hit that corner three, I knew it was over. I knew it was only like a 4-point game or 5-point game at that point or whatever, but I was like, yeah, game's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like Cam Reddish got a lot of crap last game for the Lakers where they, LeBron swung the pass his way to hit a game winner. He missed it. They're like, why would you go to Cam Reddish in that situation? Well, tonight, Cam Reddish was knocking him down, and LeBron was knocking him down, and in very important spots in this game. Suns turnovers again in the fourth quarter. Miserable fourth quarter for the Suns. The team is not yet together. Bradley Beal looks a little winded still in the fourth. Can't count on him for a full game yet. But still, you want the win, right? And most importantly, Suns Geek, what are you drinking tonight? Because I actually have something. I have a little bit of leftover wine. So a little bit of wine and Suns.
Well,
what do you got?
Unfortunately, I'm not as cool as you, man. I am drinking water, but if it means anything, I've had 2 cups of coffee today, and I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. So.
Do you cut the coffee off at like 3 p.m. or when? Because I usually do 3 p.m. cutoff.
That's when I totally cut it off after 3 p.m.
Yeah, totally. Or when I can't really drive anymore and I just disoriented. But yeah, so Suns do lose. Jamsters, hang in there. Let's get through this together. John will be on a little bit later. And like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And let's go ahead and start this pod. 122, 119. The Lakers over the Suns. You kind of thought the Suns would have run away with this one. That's at a certain point. You kind of thought, the 10-point leads, maybe they can crack this one open. But no, just a turnovers, pesky turnovers by the Suns, pesky threes by the Lakers. Kind of, gave the Lakers some life. This whole game they hung around. They finally pulled off. I hate that in the fourth quarter when it's, the beginning of the fourth and the Lakers go on that run, hit a couple threes, get the big, fast break to go up one. And you hear, Lakers haven't led the whole game till now. I always hate that because you kind of know it's like, okay, it's over. They got the momentum. The team that always never leads the whole game and comes back in the fourth quarter to get that little 1-point lead, they take over. But let me just ask you a few questions to start the pod.
Oi, Matty. Mate, I've got to ask.
At the court, right? Your reactions on the court, how it looked with the jerseys, the El Valle jerseys, with the tournament court. Did you like it? I like the court, but I don't know if I like the jerseys on top of the court. But what did you think?
I love them, man. I take back everything bad I said about the jerseys when they first started being leaked and everything. I take back everything that I said. I think they look clean. They are growing on me. I tried my best to rock my City Edition stuff tonight, including the hat. Like what I mean?
Yeah.
I still got my. How do you pronounce it? El Valle? I probably just butchered
El Valle.
Yeah, I got that hat on the way. It's being shipped to my house soon. But yeah, I'm a fan of these, man, and I do understand that maybe the purple on purple doesn't really look great, especially on TV. Maybe it looks a lot different in person, and I'm sure John will tell us about that later. But I like these, man, and I really do love the court as well. And I do just have to say this. I understand that maybe like the bright colors and the all purple court isn't for everybody. But for some Suns fans who may not know, we used to be called the Purple Palace. And now we actually have a purple court. So I absolutely love it, man. And again, they're growing on me. I love the court. And keep in mind, Suns fans, that we actually have 2 of these courts. One of them's the City Edition court, and this one was the in-season tournament court. So I'm on board. What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, I do like when they first started the game, I kind of didn't like it. I thought I kind of lost some players. I didn't know there's an inbounds pass. I'm like, where's he throwing that to? I'm like, Beal's over there. So like, you kind of lose them. And I thought like, they're playing half court defense or full court press, but it's just like the actual like yellow or the gold from the trophy in the middle, and it wasn't a Lakers player. So kind of confusing to my old self at certain times, but overall, I mean, it's cool. I love the whole thing. I think today they released all the courts at once playing tonight.
I
There was a
believe
lot
so.
of gray.
Yep.
I want them to use more colors in other ones. But speaking of the guy that actually released the first pick of the courts,
let's go.
John Voida, live at the game or somewhere. What's going on, John? How was the game, huh? Can you hear?
In the words of Suns Geek, technical difficulties.
Are you in the accounting room right now, John? Is that where you're at?
I want that shirt, John.
All right. He can't hear us right now. So we will go ahead and let's talk about something else. We can talk about the first quarter. I mean, they did start off with 5 turnovers in like the first 2 minutes. Frank Vogel did talk about that at halftime. Yep. And as soon as you can hear us, John, just go ahead and jump in. You good?
Yes. I'm off the stadium Wi-Fi and back on 5G.
All right, perfect. Yeah, that stadium Wi-Fi does not work. I think that's something after the game. It just doesn't pick up anything. But we're talking about the court. So you were the one that released the first pick of the actual court on Twitter in person. What did you think?
It's a lot to take in, isn't it? Like what it looked like on TV, because being in person, it's a lot. It's a lot on the eyes. As the game progresses, it's basketball at the end of the day, right? So we get used to it. You know, your eyes adjust, but it was a lot. I don't know if it grew on me as the time progressed. It frustrated me more than anything.
Yeah,
just like the game.
I told the Geek in the beginning that I couldn't really see the players sometimes on the court because it just leaks into the court, those jerseys. So the court itself is cool. I think the whole concept is cool. I think that the color, even from all the teams, I think it's pretty neat, pretty unique, obviously. But it was kind of frustrating at times because I would lose track of the players. And I was just like, where are they inbounding the ball to? I'm like, oh, Beal's standing over there. So sorry, Jamsters, I just repeated myself.
I think it's a good idea. I think it wasn't executed very well. And as I watched it, I thought, you know, somebody got paid for this decision. And like, what's it feel like to be that guy? Right? Like you get paid for that decision. You're like, all right, here's my concept. Okay. We're going to make these courts and we're going to put a center stripe down the middle and it's going to be glorious. And then you see all the reactions on Twitter. And for those of you who saw the photo that I tweeted out, you know, and shout out to Drew, who actually sent me that photo. You got to sit there and you take Drew Banks. No, my buddy Drew D'Angelo. You take a look at it and you're just like, oh, all the feedback that these are getting is not good. And are they going to allow me to design the court next year? Because I didn't do a good job this year. Nobody really likes it. Did you guys like it?
Yes, I love it.
I do like the court. I just don't like the jersey on the top of the court. I think it's the 4th time I said that already. But you know what? The thing is I think it was just Adam Silver. There was that report released. I think it was from I forget who released the report. Just kind of a follow up of how the whole situation took place. And Adam Silver just kind of pushed it last minute for a lot of the courts. And I don't know that they were specific with which courts were kind of last, but it was like a quick decision. Like, okay, let's do it to make sure it just pops. So everyone knows, of course, it's an in-season tournament. But it was just like, I think it was him. I think it's Adam Silver that was just like, let's do it this way. I'm sure the concept was drawn up, but he's like, no, flashier, more color, more this, more that. You got to know it's in-season tournament. So I think it comes down to him, right? He's going to take responsibility, just like the All-Star game where he says it's his fault the players don't play hard. So he'll take responsibility again.
Why not just put the NBA Cup logo in the middle?
Yes.
And call it a day. I don't know. Like, remember when the finals trophy, the Larry O'Brien trophy, was behind all the logos?
Yep, bring that back, NBA.
You could do the same concept with the NBA Cup. You don't have to make it gross. I don't know. It was fun yelling in the stands. Like, anytime somebody would fall, you're like, it's because of the court.
I will say this, though, in all fairness, like the NBA and especially Adam Silver is continually like they're always going to experiment, but sometimes that's not like always a good experiment. But I also will say this is that, and I'm sure you guys have seen them on Twitter as well. There's so many great, like, I don't know if graphic designer is the correct phrase here, but lots of people that create concept courts that are a lot better than what we actually got. So I'm kind of torn on it. Like, I respect the NBA for experimenting, but again, you go on Twitter, there's like 10 better courts out there that you can find. Just saying.
Yeah. And they're definitely really pushing this too. If you watch the pregame on ESPN, Suns Geek, Ryan Windhorst went off a couple times about this is the in-season tournament. The Lakers got to come out. They got to be strong. And like, it was so forced, so like you just under the table paid that he was just, it seemed so fucking fake. And it was kind of funny because to see the other reactions around him, they were just kind of like, what is
and
this?
The players too, dude.
The players, yeah. Yeah, even Frank Vogel at halftime, like we said in the beginning, we're going to win this tournament. Like I like this whole situation. I do, but you already know the players just think it's kind of dumb. Like even I think it was who was interviewed at the Boston Celtics game. Was it either one of the two stars? Tatum was saying that he's like, they asked him about, is this a big win for the tournament? He's like, yeah, I guess it's like, you just want to kind of win every game. So it's like, the players don't really care as much. I know it's a lot of money, but they're just like, so they think it's kind of dumb. I feel like still, so it's still kind of forced, but I like it.
I'd like it a lot better if we won the fucking game.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the only thing that matters is just the actual game. I didn't even think about it as going towards the tournament. Like It's just a game and it's the Lakers, right?
Always adds more drama and spice when it's the Lakers. But even Kevin Durant, like a week ago or whatever, he said, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but he was like, they were talking about the in-season tournament. And he said something like, I don't know, it's just like another game on our schedule. He didn't exactly say that, but he pretty much said that.
Yeah. So want to talk about a few players, John, or any reactions from being at the game? Like anything that stood out?
I was so distraught after the loss. I walked all the way down here and left my phone in the cup. And I had to walk all the way back to my seat to get my phone because I was distraught. I was frustrated, man. That fourth quarter, I mean, we can talk about individual players, but we can talk about the team overall to begin with. A 14-2 run, again, to start the fourth, again. Like, the Lakers have beat us twice now, folks. Twice this season. And both of it is because of shite fourth quarters.
What did I say to you, Matthew?
All we had to do was win the fourth quarter. And we come out and we're discombobulated, can't hit a shot, can't hit a layup. We allow them, being the Lakers, to do what they want, hit open threes, gain momentum. And then, as much as I love Kevin Durant, and we will talk about Kevin Durant and how amazing he was tonight, he felt that the weight of the world was upon him, and he forces himself into difficult shots midway through the fourth, where Grayson Allen is on the side in the corner, just hanging out, handing out his phone number to chicks on the sideline, just being like, hey, my dad's a lawyer, and if you need any assistance, I can help you, because he's got the time. And what happens? Grayson Allen finally gets a shot late in the game, and he fucking nails it. It's like, we should have been doing what the Lakers did to us, and that's allowing the role players like Cam Reddish, like Rui Hachimura, like Taurean Prince to cook and empower them, and they didn't. And it's just frustrating that, again, 4-5, not the end of the world. But it's frustrating to see in the same movie like over and over and over again, where the fourth quarter begins.
Last season.
Yeah, it is, though. It's the same thing. It's like that fourth quarter starts, we can't shoot, we turn the ball over, and it's just, I'm tired of it, man. I know it's only 9 games in, but like every time we lose, this game should have been we should have coasted.
The frustrating thing about that is, even though I just said it is kind of similar to last season, is we have a completely different team, a completely different coaching staff, but yet we're kind of seeing the same results. And we've seen this team absolutely explode and go on runs. And then for some reason in that fourth quarter, we just cool down, start turning the ball over. Things just don't go our way. I don't think it's going to be, I'm praying that it's not a trend all season long, but we need to nip it in the butt fast. What do you think, Matthew?
I agree. Matthew, do you?
Yeah, I'm kind of going both ways. I just, so says Jay just says, Booker's not playing, right? Yeah, of course. But the thing is, like, this is a winnable game. I think this Lakers team is just dog shit. I think leaving Cam Reddish that open that many times, even though he was on fire, is just that's dog shit too. A loss is a loss, just like a win is a win. Just like last game when Nurkic hits a game winner. Hey, a win's a win. It was a close one. At least we got the win. This should have just been a win. I was talking with Suns Geek in the third quarter. I almost said the fifth quarter. I don't know where I'm going with that. Yeah,
in season tournament.
Does that take place?
In season tournament,
5 quarters. What are you guys doing? Go get back out there. Yeah, in the third quarter, it was like 5-point lead, 10-point lead, 5-point lead, 10-point lead. They just couldn't put them away. And then you start the fourth quarter, and the Lakers hit 2 threes, big threes, and then they get that fast break. But before that, I thought Vogel would probably call a timeout. And who they have on the court, who to rely on, it's like KBD and Goodwin trying to knock down threes. I like the KBD threes.
Two back-to-back threes by Goodwin, man. Just, oh.
Yeah. He was like, no, I'm going to make this one. So that's tough to watch because you're relying on those guys. But then you went towards KD most. Well, KD wanted to. I'll just play his drop.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
He is so fucking good, Kevin Durant, man. Watching him in person every time, it's just like, dude, what's he doing? That was amazing. Dude, why is he going? That was amazing. He's so good. What was his stat line, Matthew?
He was, let me see. I'm going to say
39
30+
minutes.
points.
Yep.
Going a little slow over here.
39 minutes?
What is
39 minutes, 38
buffering.
points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 13 for 27 from the field. He had 4 threes.
Jesus.
Yeah, pretty insane. And at times, 13 for 27 from the field. At times, you're like, why force the ugly shot? You know what I mean? But it is KD. And when it goes in, when he goes on that 9-0 run in the third quarter to kind of take over the game, you're like, all right, maybe he'll win us the game. He kind of gets us back into the game. We get close in the fourth quarter, but then no one else really picks up the slack around him. But I just think that's just not having Booker. And I just think that's just not having Beal to his 100% capabilities out there. His first 3 quarters were really fucking great. The first half he had 20 points, but when he doesn't have that other guy, it sucks for KD. I think he knows when to not take those shots when you have another star next to him. But right now, he's just like, if we're going to win this game, I got to make these shots. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, if we're going to win this game, KD just has to go off again. And I think he just tried his best. But there are some shots, man, where he just throws up there. I'm like, God, that's an ugly shot. But then he hits like that triple team 3 coming down the floor. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a back and forth thing, and we love KD. I love having him, watching him, of course, but sometimes it's just like, damn, like he just needs some extra help for the full length of the game. And Nurkic did his best to help him out, I feel like, in this game.
He'll get the help. We all know that. That's why you can't overreact. You can be frustrated in the moment, and that's what's occurring right now is frustration in the moment because losing to the Lakers is never fun. Losing to the Lakers on a court that really kind of makes you kind of, whoa, isn't ever fun. Losing an in-season tournament game, we are learning now, is never fun because this is the first time. But we know help is on the way. We know that we're just over 10% of the way through the season. So ultimately, it's the fact that we've lost to the Lakers now twice this season, a Pacific Division rival, in the same manner. It was the same script. And that is what creates frustration. And that is where, when So Says Jay says in the chat, like, just checking, Devin Booker's not playing, right? Correct. But it doesn't negate the immediate reaction of frustration that's occurred. Kevin Durant, great game. I just wish that the help around, and Bradley Beal had a great game too. I really enjoyed watching Bradley Beal out there and seeing the way that he played. And I love the fact that he had that nasty dunk that I can totally substitute into our drop so we don't have to look at Wizards Bradley Beal anymore.
Someone commented, I think it's the Aussie Suns fans podcast, like, can you get rid of those, like, stuff, the Wizard stuff, put some Sun stuff up there?
Gosh, I'm working on it, okay?
Yeah. Just really quick too, Iverson Vlogs in the chat did say, or give us $2 each on these comments. KD needs Curry to win. So far, I guess.
Every time.
Yeah, and then third blown lead of the season. The Spurs, at least we got some money for it. And the Spurs, third blown lead this season with the Spurs twice, and then the Lakers.
Yeah,
the Lakers
in fact,
twice.
I was having a conversation about that. You think about it, if the Suns don't fucking shoot themselves in the foot, right now they're 7-2. Think about that. They are a 7-2 team. They've just fucked themselves with the way that they've started third quarters, or the refs not seeing KD get raked across the face against the Spurs. So again, this is a team that is on the precipice, and we've talked about it before, Matthew, and Geek, I'm sure you have as well on your channel. Like, this team is so close to just ripping off like a 10-game winning streak, like right on the precipice. So the sky isn't falling. The sky just doesn't have any clouds in it right now, and it's frustrating because I miss clouds.
I'm going to agree with you, John. And just real quick, just to kind of, not really final thoughts, but just some thoughts on KD.
Final thoughts, we're 19 minutes in.
I know. No, I just meant
Final thoughts on KD
Yeah,
or the fifth quarter situation?
Yes, all the above. But, just real quick, you got to remember who Kevin Durant was battling out there with tonight. It was LeBron James. And if you look at the numbers, besides maybe the shooting, they were pretty close across the board. So you know that he probably wanted to be the star of the show and take over. But kind of like you mentioned, John, didn't really have too much help out there tonight, even though I thought Bradley Beal was good. Nurkic. I also thought Eric Gordon played a pretty good game, just saying. But again, we're not 100%. We got to really nip these fourth quarters in the butt ASAP. We can't allow other teams to go on runs. So I'm going to kind of play a Kevin Durant defender there. I thought he looked really damn good. And like you guys mentioned, that one shot that he had where he was, I think it was D'Lo trailing behind him, had the blinders on, just drained that three. Then he had like an and one that was kind of similar to that. Double, triple teams didn't matter. Kevin freaking Durant, man, but we got to win these fourth quarters.
Two things really quick. John, your backdrop looks awesome. You've never looked better, I feel like, on a podcast. It's like HD 4K right in the middle.
Is it really?
Yeah, it looks fucking great. Second thing, let's talk about Bradley Beal.
She said you're not the only one, but you're the best, Bradley. Boom, boom.
20 points in the first half. It was so fresh and it was so nice. It was so easy, wasn't it, from him? Like in the first quarter, I was like, oh, Bradley Beal, he doesn't want it. He doesn't look like he wants the ball. Then 7 straight points. Then he gets 9 out of the first, like 13 points for the Suns with a huge dunk. And KD said, that really started their run there, getting the crowd into it. Man, like he's like squirting these little shots, just sprouting out of this chaos of defense around him. It's just so nice to see that from him and just to know what you really have for 2 quarters, 2.5 quarters, maybe. But it just, obviously, he's not there yet. He had a big shot in the fourth, but then just kind of hit away. And I think KD kind of knew he was just, kind of spent. And he landed on his back after one play. I think he got up and he's like, oh, that was dumb of me to do that, because he just went up for the dunk and, the put back. Then he just missed it and just landed on his back. That was kind of scary because he got up a little sore, it looked like, but I think he's okay. I'm just scared to see him not being able to play on Sunday. But you guys' thoughts on Beal? I mean, it looked fucking great in the first half.
John, you want to take this one first? Me? All right.
Yeah, you
first
go.
Off,
I got a text from Dave King. I think I got to give him a ride home. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is he drunk? What's going on over there?
Well, I'll start off with Bradley Beal, man. First off, I do agree with you. He probably is going to be sore tomorrow. Let's pray that he's not. Let's pray he wakes up feeling great. And you are right. Probably the first half was a lot better for him than the second half. But I will say this. If that was Bradley Beal at 75%, I am excited to see what he's going to look like at 100%. You know what I mean? Because he literally took over in that first half. And it wasn't just the offense. Like, we all know what Bradley Beal can do on offense. Even though there was a couple times he surprised me in a good way tonight on offense, I thought he was sacrificing his body a lot, trying to take charges, even if he got called for the foul. Thought he played okay defense for the most part. He was trying out there. Looked like he was running the floor a lot better, too, than in terms of, that first game against the Bulls. I thought he looked great. And again, if that was Bradley Beal at 75%, give me the 100. I cannot wait for Bradley Beal to be fully healthy and fully active with Devin Booker. It's going to be tough to stop.
Yeah, you have those moments where you're like, oh, shit, we got Bradley Beal on this team. Like, he can create his own shot. He can hit that 3 ball. He's athletic. He's shifty. It's one of the things that it makes you understand and realize why he sat out so many games with the lower back issue and why he was being tender with it is because of the way he contorts himself on the court and in the air. And that's what ultimately kind of led to that, what looked like was potentially an injury. I haven't seen a replay of it yet. It happened on the opposite side of the court in which I was sitting. But you saw him get up. He was very ginger. He was trying to stretch it out. You're like, oh, shit. But it's because, so much stress can be held in that lower back area. And when you're somebody like Bradley Beal, who is a pure athlete, and he contorts himself the way that he does, it obviously affects the way that he plays. You could see the fatigue again, and it's understandable as to why he slowed down at the back end of the game. You can't really fault him for his efforts. He was subbed out with about 6 minutes. They brought him back with about 4 because they were just trying to give him a little bit more rest because he's getting back into playing shape. And you're right, Geek. If this is him at 75%, when he's at 100%, that's going to be such a vital and scary tool for the Phoenix Suns to utilize on the court. So great seeing him. It was really fun being here for his debut in Phoenix. It was kind of fun. I was like, oh shit, this is the Bradley Beal debut against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Well,
Lucky you. Jack Booker does make a good point, but I disagree with it. Beal, Book, KD equal points, but who brings the D? And he's talking about defense, right? They can all probably bring the D, but I'm honestly thinking that Booker's defense has improved. He's a great defensive player. I feel like KD's held his own. I feel like when you have him with KBD and Nurkic down there, he's been fine. That's fine for me. I think Beal definitely at times, he's smaller out there, man. When you actually see him in the Suns uniform trying to play defense on anybody out there, he just is small. He kind of hides away from it, and the injury might have something to do with it too. You know, he doesn't want to further injure himself by taking a charge. There was one where LeBron's coming down the lane and he's going to take the charge, but he turns the last second, lets him go by. He's like, I'm not doing that. Like, I just got back to playing basketball. I want to make sure that I can, help this team out down the road and not sit out another 15 games or so. But what do you think about their defense, though? I mean, the defense tonight, it looked good at times. I think it was just our offense having those little turnovers that just killed us in the end and in the beginning of the game. But, our defense kind of just not rotating around to Cam Reddish, who they just honestly probably thought wouldn't make it. But our defense, it's been okay, right? It's kind of held its own in a way.
For the most part, I mean, if you know Frank Vogel, like I think we're all going to know Frank Vogel at some point, this defense wasn't good enough. And clearly it wasn't because we lost. But you're right, especially in that fourth quarter, especially down the final stretch of the game and all that. Oh, that's such beautiful artwork.
Look at that.
God.
Yeah,
So
that sucks not
right
going
now.
to a game yet. It's just not seeing those.
But real quick with the defense, though, just what I was trying to say is obviously it's going to get better. We hope that it's going to get better. It can be better. And I think it's more about figuring out the defensive personnel. Like, and in my personal opinion, they should have left Tari and Prince wide open, not Cam Reddish.
Yes.
Even if Cam Reddish was the worst player in the league, you at least know he can hit that 3-point shot. I would rather have Tari and Prince make that shot over Cam Reddish. But I will say the Suns are being competitive on defense. This is the NBA, dude. Guys are going to make shots. Like, you probably saw a lot tonight how LeBron, kept getting switched on, or Grayson Allen kept getting switched on LeBron. Grayson Allen did all you could. Put a hand up in his face, contested LeBron, but you're not going to be able to, he's going to make the shot either way. But the Suns just got to execute better rotations and all that, better defensive personnel. And again, we're not 100%. We'll see. But it can be better. Hi, John.
Yeah, it could definitely be better. And
I'm popping in and out. I'm about to.
Dave, where are you?
King, I'm coming down the escalators.
He's going to save King, man.
Yeah, I was taking it in the accounting offense, and now I got to pick up Dave King and give him a ride home.
John has a badge now to the arena. He can enter anywhere. If he's not getting his credentials to go behind the scenes, he can definitely go into the office and just hang out, probably eat their candy or whatever they have up there, the reception area.
There's candy. I took a shot of tequila at halftime.
Nice.
Did you? Oh, nice, dude. I forgot they still do that, huh?
Well, of
All
course. Right. Yeah. You got to get crazy, get wild.
This guy was wild tonight.
Nurkic watch.
Definitely the best photos on this podcast. Just that jaw structure looks really good. He held Anthony Davis 0-6 in the first half when playing defense. I think having KDB next to Nurkic helps out a ton, just both defensively down there in the post and actually grabbing rebounds too.
Real quick, before I leave, Dave King just wave.
Hey, Dave King is my son's daddy.
There you go. Dave King is our son's daddy. I'm going to log off. I will not end the podcast. So go, Suns.
All right, you two, be careful tonight. All right, don't get too crazy.
I will.
All right,
that's great, man. Shout out to Dave King.
Yeah, shout out, dude. Great guy. Great guy. Great two guys. Bunch of good guys over there. All right. So what we're talking about, Nurkic? Okay. 0-for-6. So my big question is with Anthony. Sorry, Jamsters. This is a fun pod. When we lose a game against the Lakers, you just gotta kind of have fun with it this early in the season. Nurkic 0-for-6. I mean, Anthony Davis was 0-for-6 against Nurkic. All right. I said that 3 times. But do you think Anthony Davis is just kind of washed in a way? Like, where is he? In the subreddit, they're like, where is Anthony Davis? I don't know what to think about this guy anymore. Or is Nurk just that much? I can't say it. Is he better than Anthony Davis in these type of games, a physical game. Anthony Davis is just gone. He's not really relevant. So your take on Nurk putting up another good stat line tonight, man. I mean, Nurk had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He's not turning the ball over as much. He only had the 2. He's finding KD. He's finding the cutters. You cut, he'll find you. His play tonight was just astounding again. You count on him for so much. You feel comfortable with him now on the court, having the ball in his hands. Honestly, I want him to start every possession. I want it to go through him every time. If he doesn't touch it, I'm like, God, that sucks. Because I trust the dude. But your thoughts on Anthony Davis and just the way Nurk did play tonight?
Let me start with Anthony Davis first, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Suns fans are probably going to hate me for this, but let's be real. It's Anthony freaking Davis. He's not washed yet. He's just coming off of an injury. When he's fully healthy, we all know he's probably a top 10, top 15 player in this league. I mean, he's fantastic when he's healthy, but he did just come off of an injury. But to get to the important question about Yusuf Nurkic, can we just address the fact that Yusuf Nurkic in back-to-back games almost had a triple-double? So that's now pretty much 2 games where he almost had a triple-double. Just got to say that. And you're absolutely right, man. This guy, as Monty Williams would say, is a connector. But I'm serious. He is a great connector. He's a great passer. I normally don't care what they say on the ESPN broadcasts, but I think I forgot who it was, but somebody brought it up saying that Nurkic is a better passer than he is a rebounder, which is kind of a stretch, but it's kind of true. And I love that because that's what we need more of. And this could go back to those terrible fourth quarters we're having. Maybe the ball needs to be zipping around more. Maybe the ball movement needs to be better in the fourth quarters. But Nurkic has been doing great, trying to do it all out there. And then just in terms of what he did to Anthony Davis tonight, I think he took advantage of the injury, played bully ball, got to his spots, posted up, active hands, did all that he could out there. And, speaking of the rebounding probably could be a little bit better, but that's a whole team effort. Although we did win the rebounding battle tonight. I think it was like 52-43.
They killed them. I mean, the Suns were shooting like 41% compared to the Lakers 49% entering the fourth quarter. So you were wondering, like, why are they ahead? It was the threes, and then the Lakers just caught up to them making their threes. That was basically the difference. The rebounds, the Suns are killing it on the glass. This year, they've much improved from last year. But there's also just, Nurk he's a guy that took a lot of, I guess, yelling at, from KD and the rest of the team, trying to figure things out. And they still talk a lot, which is good. You see his interviews after the game. He's just still trying to figure it out. Sometimes those interviews with him and Beal are kind of uncomfortable. Not a lot of joy in those interviews. Them trying to figure each other out. Beal dealing with the injuries, not knowing what to do or how to prepare for games with a back injury. Kind of hard to watch. So I stay away from them. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear Nurkic say something that's going to be taken the wrong way, because I think that's how he is. He voices his opinion. I guess kind of in a way, DeAndre was that way, but he kind of was just a little different, right? But Nurk will be straight. He'll be like, yeah. Nurk will be straight. Be like, it sucks having a game. I don't care what my stats look like. We're losing these games. I'm not playing good. Yeah. But they're not blaming each other yet. They're trying to figure out the kinks and like the little, the cuts, whatever they can do to find each other better throughout these games to make things easy and to get those 20-point leads that we've kind of been waiting for. You know what I mean? When you get to 10, can you extend it? They need to start extending those leads and not get too comfortable. There's a few other guys that definitely want to talk about. There's a couple, but it's not good though. All right. This isn't good because these guys, 2 of my favorite entries of the season, but they just kind of fallen off. So let's get started with.
Hey Joe, where you going with that gun of yours?
I don't want to read Josh Okogie's stat line. I'm not going to look at it because I know it wasn't good. His threes were way off. He didn't want the ball. I think he slapped away. He's like, take that shit. I don't want that. His free throws, awkward as hell shooting those things because he doesn't want to touch the ball. He looks scared of it right now. He knows how bad he's playing. Do you think we talked about it last pod though? I mean, I don't really care because he came into the first quarter like he had some big plays to start. I mean, he drew a charge against Anthony Davis. There you go. That's the Aoki I like, but nothing else really great for the rest of the game. Where is he gone? What's your take on him? What he could do to get better? Him falling out of the starting lineup just really hurt him, right? Do you think it hurt him right in the heart, or is it just a mental thing. Where do you think it hurt him at, man?
I'm a little torn on the Josh Okogie stuff. Maybe I need to go back and look at some more film, but sometimes the eye test is right there. And tonight, let's be real, I didn't see much. The only thing I really saw was he had a really nice, almost offensive rebound that I think was led to like a turnover or something. I haven't even seen him much on defense lately. So again, maybe I need to go back and look at some film, and maybe it is because he was pulled from the starting lineup. But Frank Vogel's been talking about that since like day one. He says we're going to experiment, especially with the starting lineup. He pretty much said we don't have really a fifth starter. And now we're seeing it because Keita Bates-Diop is pretty, well, at least for right now, is our fifth starter. And look, we all know he's a liability on offense, and he really shouldn't be. You would think with the weapons that we have on this team that he would sort of be a low-key threat out there. You wanted him to improve that three-point shot during the offseason. It doesn't seem like he did.
No.
Or he's just having a string of bad luck. I'm still going to believe in Josh Okogie. I'm not saying he should be starting, but I'm still believing in him. But I will say this, I can only defend him for so long, and tonight was not one of those nights.
Yeah, Freddie Merriman does say Okogie is only effective against smaller lineups, period.
That's true.
Yeah, it's definitely true, but I do like, the size he plays with on the court is bigger than what he looks.
Yep.
He's a big physical dude. It's one of those things where you got more from him than what we expected when he first joined the Suns, right? Now there's higher expectations from him. Now he's out of the starting lineup. And before I get to KBD, I do want to talk about Yuta. So Yuta, I don't know if John's withholding the drop or not, but it's such a good drop. So let me just go ahead and play it really quick.
Yuta, the shooter.
He had 7 fouls within, I think, 2 minutes of the game. Now he got abused. There was a stretch there in the second quarter where he came in and he had 3 fouls within a minute, basically getting 4 fouls. I mean, he was going up against LeBron James. He was going up against Anthony Davis in those situations. They're gonna abuse him. So 2 things, Yuta, what are your thoughts on him? But should they put in Metu? There's some chat, there's some stuff going on, some rumblings in the chat right now that Metu needs to see the floor. So Metu is a power forward center, right? The way I see him is like Yuta has a size too a little bit, right? Just put Metu in there in his spot. I don't care what position he is. That guy's smooth. He'll not run the offense, but he'll move the ball. He'll hit a corner 3. He can do that, but he makes more sense right now than Yuta. Yuta's getting abused on defense again. He's trying his best, right? But it just doesn't look good. Him taking a mid-range shot didn't look good. Not because it didn't go in. It's just because the release, everything was just forced towards the defender. It didn't look like he followed through and couldn't follow through, but it was a shot he shouldn't have took. But what are your thoughts on him, man? I mean, it's pretty disappointing so far from him, right? Or else did you not expect too much from him this year?
That's the thing. I think I expected a little bit more, but maybe that was just the offseason hype because we obviously had an incredible offseason. We were so excited, you know what I mean? And I was one of those people. I was sort of preaching. I was like, oh, man, Suns fans are going to love Yuta. Yuta's going to do this. Yuta's going to do that. I think I was overhyping it a little bit too much. But this is also where I'm kind of torn on this as well, just like with the Josh Okogie stuff is maybe he's struggling because defenses are so focused in on him. And sometimes players just need to see the ball get into the basket. Maybe that's why Frank Vogel keeps trusting him. But at the same time, I will say this, maybe Frank Vogel's going to say, okay, you know what? This just ain't working anymore. Let's try a Metu. Let's try player X. You know what I mean? Let's just try something else until further notice.
Yeah. And
so I'm torn is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. And if you watch Dave King, he was on PHNX the other day and he talked about, the fact that Vogel's going to go in stretches and increments of games with these guys playing the way they're playing in the same amount of minutes, same times during the game, same lineups to see how it works. It's early in the season. He doesn't want to just do a one game. That doesn't work. Change it up. So maybe this is the game that kind of puts him over the hump to put in Metu, to put in a little more, to try to mix things up a little bit more. And just to realize too, I mean, another thing is, of course, and we'll always say it, is Booker's not back yet. He might be back next game Sunday or the following game. They're at home again. I forget who they do play. So James, let me know. And that's one thing, but also Beal's not 100% either. So there's always those 2 things. The only thing is just this game was definitely a winnable game. That's the most frustrating part. You had LeBron just kind of pick and choose his minutes tonight to come in when he wanted to kind of cut the lead closer, then take a break, then come back in, and then just take that lead from us. LeBron was a factor, man. LeBron was a wrecking ball, dude. I don't care how many people hate me for it, but he's amazing at his.
Dude.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that.
Dude,
He's amazing at his age.
32 minutes on 11 for 17 shooting to go along with 11 boards and 6 assists. Like
crazy.
You can't stop that. And what did I say about Grayson Allen? Or I know Grayson Allen's like not a good defender or whatever, but like Grayson Allen literally did everything he possibly could. Even KD and whoever else was guarding him. Like you contest the shot, you put a hand up, it doesn't matter. The ball's going to go in. And again, it's the in-season tournament. It's against the Suns. You know LeBron's going to play a level higher than he normally does. And he's doing this at what, like age, how old is he? 38, 39, 40? I don't know. But you get the point. He was incredible.
Yeah. And I agree with Kiko G. Blah, blah, blah. I sounded just like everybody else on ESPN. LeBron, I can't believe I did that. I wish I can.
The LeBron effect, man.
And then just erase that, man. That was pretty bad. Let's see what the Lakers fans were saying, though.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Subreddit stakeout brought to you by Steak Escape. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have a sponsor yet, but if you're out there,
that
please
place
hit us
is so
up.
good, by the way.
I haven't been there I don't know why it says Steak Escape.
Dude, it's so
good, but I haven't been there in like 10 years. Because it's subreddit stakeout, get it?
Every time I'm at Arrowhead Mall, when I did live in Phoenix, I would go there.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't even know if it's at the mall. I haven't been in the mall with my homies in a while, so they're not big fans of Reeves. So I don't know. I want your thoughts on him a little bit later, because there's a lot of trash talked about him, but I still like the guy. I think he's gonna come through in games, and he's got to build himself back up this year. No, Lakers suck. What am I talking about? So the first one is get this hillbilly fuck out of the game. Maybe we can trade Reeves to the Spurs. Anything we can get is an upgrade. Dang, they are not having it this year. Trade Reeves for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. There you go. They actually said trade Reeves and Christie for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. I don't know who Christie is. Doug Christie?
Max Christie.
Max Christie. There you go. Yeah, I don't know who he is. I literally don't have an opinion on AD anymore. So we talked about that, just them not really knowing what to do with this guy. There was a guy in the comments saying, I'm a Lakers fan. I want to trade him because you can't count on him. You don't know what you're going to get, but he's untradeable. More untradeable than Harden.
They're not trading Anthony Davis. I'm sorry.
They're not going to. I don't think they can.
Exactly.
Right?
And LeBron wouldn't allow it. It just wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Even if you got back an incredible package, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and then also LeBron restoring Cam Reddish's confidence. This game just showed that D'Lo has no place on this team. So D'Lo is the most fascinating player, I feel like, on this team.
Lakers fans are tripping.
19 points, 9 assists. So he's always the scapegoat, I feel like. But he had 12 points at the half. I'm like, how did he have 12 points? Where did that come from?
Yeah,
right?
I noticed that too.
I was like, what?
Yep.
But then he hits, he sets up his teammates when he can. Anthony Davis, a few good plays, but I don't know. He's not too bad. So is there a player you feel like is the most overrated out of those three? Reeves, Anthony Davis, or D'Angelo Russell? Well, I guess D'Angelo Russell would be underrated, in my opinion.
I'm gonna pick on Austin Reeves here, but it's really not his fault. It's social media's fault and Lakers fans' fault for completely overhyping this guy from day one. And I will always be salty about this. I will always be bitter about this because I believe it was last season. He was like 1 or 2 spots higher than Devin Booker in the All-Star voting. I will never forget that. I forgot if it was last season or the season before. That's just because the Lakers fans, you know what I mean? The bandwagon fans. Austin Reeves is the greatest player of all time all of a sudden. And now he's kind of being humbled in a good way. Hopefully it's good for him. I mean, he did have 15 and 7 tonight. I'll give him props. Sometimes players do need to get sent to the bench to kind of wake up a little bit. And again, I don't really care what they say on the broadcast, but they did make a good point. They said like, hey, you're being targeted now. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows you. Again, going back to social media, Lakers fans, he's targeted now, and defenses are learning how to guard him. And we'll see. But I think he's sort of a little overrated, though. Although he did play on that Team USA team. Got to give him props for that. And then real quick, I just want to say this. Again, Suns fans, don't kill me. I'm just going off of what I see here. I think D'Lo is a little underappreciated because we all know he can score, but he's made a better effort this season to be a better defender. And I saw a little bit of that tonight, even if it was just him picking up 94 feet. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that he's a little underrated, and he is a scapegoat, and he'll put up some big numbers, but he's just always there putting up some big points. I don't know.
Quietly,
it's a
like
weird
you
team.
said, like I didn't even know he had 12 until later in the game or in the first half or however many he had. But
yeah, and even if the Suns win tonight, they'll probably take it out on him. They'll be like, it's his fault,
Exactly.
except for Anthony Davis sucks. So
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Jam Star of the Game.
All right, Geekonians and Jamsters out there, please rate us, subscribe. 5-star man. We're both 5-star men. So rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or even on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, do that. We're at 4.9, so just get that back up to 5. It'd be nice, and I'll send out a little tweet and say thank you, Jamsters. Yeah, like, subscribe, all the good stuff right now. And Jamstar of the night, KD, what do you think?
You know what? Just because it was his best game as a Phoenix Sun, I know it's only a 2-game stretch, but I'm going to go with Bradley Beal, man. That was my jam star of the game. But realistically, probably Kevin Durant.
Yeah, no, I think I think it's the KD. I do. I really like what I'm seeing from KBD, and we'll talk about him a little bit because we have a little bit more, a little bit extra time. So Maya B does say KD easy money. The court.
Yes.
Jam star from Los Suns. Yeah, there you go. A Kogi from Corey Flynn with his 0 makes. Yeah, got pretty nasty out there. Kiko G Jam star is KBD. Yeah, I do see what you all there. Yeah, KBD and KD. I like that a lot. So let's see. Maya B, KD. Did I just read yours, KD? Oh, Maya? Jeez. Jam, Akogi.
Goes so fast.
I know. Plays Megatron, KD. Jam star of the game from Reddy Maraman. My bad. Jam star of the game, turnovers. Without him, Lakers don't have a chance. That's true. Turnovers, they'll be cut out.
You talked about that earlier, dude.
Yeah. When Booker comes back, and I don't think we can rely on this team to really be fully healthy all season, but when he gets back, I say like 4 or 5 games into him being back, you won't even notice him.
Like, that can be one of our other topics before we wrap up the show too, is turnovers, because I have some thoughts.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. Adrian Olivia says likes to subscribe for both legends. I like that a lot. That's my favorite jam star right there. John Carl, Suns and Lakers always battle. That's not even a jam star right there. Jack,
that's a good answer,
John, for the random backgrounds. Yeah. So John wasn't in the accounting office today. So shout out to him for that. So yeah, KBD, we can talk about him a little bit. I think he's really definitely improved. I think he's someone I can totally trust. Even his missed threes. Tonight, he was 1 for 6 from 3. Usually I'd be upset. I see that 1 for 6. That's disgusting. But I like the looks he has. I like his release. I like the dude a lot. Maybe he should, throw some pump fakes in there, use his body. We've seen that earlier in the season where he can use his body and get the ball off the glass, get some good looks. But tonight, I'm just like, those shots didn't go in. I still trust him. But I just noticed him right off the bat playing, of course, against the best player on the other team. Not much you can do against LeBron when he weighs 3 times as much as you. But he's that guy that's going to be our 5th starter now, right? It's over at Kogi for sure. And I think he's earned it. Do you think he's earned it?
I am jumping on the Keita Bates Diop bandwagon, and I'm serious. And you know what? I was kind of trolling him a little bit at the start of the year. I kept saying Keita, 5th starter, Bates Diop or whatever. I was trolling him a little bit, and he must have saw that tweet. Because all of a sudden he gets into the starting. It was even before he got into the starting lineup, I believe. He had a big game. Then he gets inserted. And you know what? The offense can be there. And I believe that it will be there eventually. Because sometimes, even if it is just 1-3, it's a timely 3 or a timely bucket that he does. And we all know what he does on defense. But there was a really good video that was uploaded to Twitter. And I watched it. It's like a 3-minute video of some of his best defensive highlights. And my biggest takeaway from that defensive highlights video was some of the players that he was guarding, like Cade Cunningham, who was a Tyrese Maxey, etc. I could go all day. He is guarding some of the best players in the league, making great defensive plays, very versatile player, good size and everything. This is why we got him. And this is why Frank Vogel is currently trusting him, being our 5th starter. And another thing too, I don't know if you noticed this, Matthew, and it was only just a couple of times, very small sample size. There was twice tonight where he was like wide open and Suns players missed him. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, he gets like to his spots, kind of sneaks in like to the rim, but they just didn't find him tonight. I'm like, he's so exciting. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I hope that he continues the start and hopefully the offensive numbers go up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but it's kind of a Kogi thing where the stat line I'm not going to look at, and I'm definitely not going to look at a Kogi tonight, but KBD just brings that non-sexy stat line that's just going to do a lot more on the court. You just got to watch the game, be like, yeah, he was involved in almost every play he's out there with. He's kind of just making a difference in different ways. And, I was going to ask you, how many fouls do you think he had? Did you look? Don't look.
I don't
John does to me. He had zero fouls tonight too. So
I'm sorry, I had to look.
Oh yeah, is it 0? I want to make sure I'm even right on.
And he
that.
had no turnovers.
Yeah, he's a -6. So, if you look at, it's funny how much we go to the plus minus, but then just don't go to it. But
I hate the plus minus.
Yeah, I don't really look at it that much. But he's not the sexiest thing. But like right here, Corey Flynn does say KBD is not the ideal 5th star, but he's the next best forward we kind of have right now. It's true.
Exactly.
So I got to ask you one thing before we get out of here, and we got 9 more minutes. Do the Suns make a trade? I know right now we're waiting on Booker. We're waiting on Beal to be 100%, and that's the 10th time I said that this podcast. Do you think the Suns will make a trade, the trade deadline, to find somebody else to play the power forward position? Can they?
It's still like, I get the question. I'm going to try to answer it, but it's just so early, man. And
it's too early, right?
I guess I'm going to kind of answer that with that answer. And this is sort of I'm going to preach to Suns fans here for a second, but it's true. I know that we're almost at 10 games now, but it is still so early in the season, Suns fans. Relax. We're going to be okay. I promise. But I guess to try to answer your question, we're just going to have to see. I've always been the kind of person, I'm like, I need to see where teams are at like December at earliest. You know what I mean? Like, let's get past Christmas. And then I'll be like, okay, Matthew, we do need to make a trade for a power forward, or we need to make a trade for a real point guard. You know what I mean? So I guess to answer the question, let's see where we're at like December, January-ish. But again, I just hope that we find a consistent 5th starter and he produces like KBD is producing.
Yeah, I think we're doing, when you win the rebounding matchup too against the Lakers too, a bigger team that everyone said, their size is going to kill the Suns, and whether or not you want to feed into, Anthony Davis sucks. If you want to keep saying that's fine, but like this is a team in the Lakers that should be out rebounding the Suns. I feel like, right? We're killing it on the rebounds. The only thing is just the size defensively, but I think when you have a healthy KD with KBD, like I said earlier, they help Nurkic out a lot. And a lot of GMs are saying, who would they get rid of? Who would they trade for? The thing is, for me, the way that Ishbia looks at this team, he's always going to be looking like, okay, like how can we get better? I'm going to spend, I don't care if it's another $30 million for Brandon Ingram or something. You know what I mean? Like those are guys he's probably going to be looking at. And everyone's saying like, there's no way, right? Yeah, it's too early for sure. But the way he is, if you're not going to trade away KD, Beal, Booker, or Nurk, those are the main 4. And you want that 5th guy just to be like, oh, you know what the Clippers got going on over there. Just kidding. I'm joking. The Clippers suck ass. And I'm so glad they traded for Harden. If they're going to be looking at this Warriors team or something, if they catch fire and you're kind of scared of who they have over there, does he think like, we need that extra piece just to be, just to be solid, just to make sure that we had the best chance? Right now it is too early. And I think the Suns can build themselves up to be a contender by game 40 if they're healthy. And I don't think they need to make I don't think they need to make the big trade, but it's just always fun to me to just see like who's out there. When I watch other games, I'm always thinking about, would he look in the Suns uniform? Because that's the way I think Matt Ishbia thinks. So I know the money is never going to work, but he doesn't care.
That's the tricky thing too. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I was done.
That's what that's what James Jones and Josh Bartelstein and Matt Ishbia get paid the big bucks to figure out, is like, do we sort of overreact and make a trade, or do we just kind of stick this thing out? But I feel like if they do, and that's a big if, as Devin Booker says, if ifs were fists, we'd all be drunk. That's a big if. Like, maybe they'll go back and look at games like tonight saying, hey, if we had player X, Y, or Z, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Maybe we wouldn't have lost this game or that game. But again, I think it's way too early.
Okay.
There's guys on our bench that we haven't even really tried out yet, like Metu, for example. So
no, it's
we'll
true.
see. Maybe having too many good players is a good problem to have, but we'll see what happens.
I just don't think anything's too crazy with the owner that we have.
Preach.
You know what I mean? Like, and everyone's like, oh, you lost one game, you're 4-5. It's okay. Like, it'll be
Matt
fine.
Ishbia hates that.
We've been saying that we're gonna be okay every fucking year, and I'm just sick of it because we haven't won anything yet. If we won last year, the year before, and we're like, we'll be fine. It's like, yeah, because we did it before. We won a championship. But the reason I get just upset about that is because I'm like, well, we haven't won yet. So next game though, Sunday at 6 p.m. Fun game against OKC. I love the Thunder. I love how Chet is just going head to head now with Wemby for, rookie of the year. I picked them to finish second in the West next to the Suns being number one this year. I love their team. I can't stop thinking about them at night. I don't know. I enjoy it. And your thoughts on this team, dude? Have you seen them play at all? I know SGA is a superstar, but their team is just built so well. And they really, I feel like, don't need to add anything. I just think they need a few more years to really win something. But right now, I just feel like they can really take it to the next level and get up there in the 55-plus win season this year. And your thoughts, man? Where do you see them going this year?
I'll be honest, I haven't really watched too many of their games, and I probably should be. But let's be real. They are, as you mentioned, it might take a couple of years. But in a good way, they sort of overachieved last year. I believe they made the play-in tournament and were like one game away from the playoffs or whatever. So first off, that's incredible right there, considering how young you are. And now they just added a Chet Holmgren and a couple other rookies and everything like that. So they're only going to get better from here. And I know this is kind of the cliche thing with the Thunder, but it's true. They literally have 37 draft picks or whatever over the next 7 drafts. So that's just more assets right there that they can trade if they need to. Build around SGA. I think they have one of the best coaches in the league. I think his name's Mark Dagnall. I always butcher his last name, but he's a great coach. And the players speak very highly of him. And again, they just have a bright future. So many guys on their team I haven't even named. They are just a well-built, not bought organization and bright future. Sam Presti's their GM over there. He's doing a great job. So shout out to the Thunder, man. It's going to be tough. I feel like Sunday's game is going to be really tough.
Yeah, right now they're 5-4. They did come off a loss. I think it's just really finding themselves this season because they are young and it's going to take some time. I do pick them to get 55-plus wins, but in the fact that I think they can have those 12-game win streaks or something this year to where they'll
beat some of the better teams in the league.
Yeah, they do have Blaze Makotron did say danger game for us. OKC's length is scary. Yes, definitely. It's going to be an absolute test with this team, and I wish Booker would be back for this game, but I don't think he's going to be. I think he might wait till the next home game just to be safe.
I think we got 2 days off after the Thunder game, I believe, which that's just more time to come back. I'm going to check that right now. Yeah, we do have 2 days off after the Thunder game.
Yeah, so that's good. That's I go see a naturopathic doctor. He's every time I go see him, he tells me, he's like, Booker's always going to get hurt. He said it starts with his lower back. He's like, that guy needs to get some real treatment on his back or I was going to continue to get hurt. I'm like, please don't say that stuff to me.
Right.
Just come on. I need a break. All right. We know Booker gets hurt. And the fact that this one guy in the world knows and Booker needs to reach out to him. It's Dr. Houston Anderson. All right. So let's wrap it up. I guess that's it. Sons Geek, any other final notes maybe you had tonight?
Yeah, man. Just real quick, I won't spend too much time on this, but I'm going to spend a couple or a minute or so.
Go for it.
The turnovers. And I know this is a cliche thing, but I uploaded that clip to Twitter for a reason. And again, I'm paraphrasing here, but Frank Vogel, let me just read you the turnovers tonight. We had, I can't find it. We had 13 turnovers tonight, which doesn't sound that bad. But and I think you sort of addressed it earlier in the show. It was a lot of those turnovers kind of in the first half. And Frank Vogel said we did clean those up a little bit in stretches of the second quarter. But it's just consistency. Because if you go back and look, at some of the better games that we've had, the turnovers were low. Like once we start taking care of that damn ball better and we stop getting into foul trouble and everything, I believe this team is going to be tough to beat no matter who's on the floor. Take care of the ball. And that's one thing I love about Frank Vogel is since day one, he's been preaching that. Take care of the ball. Don't turn the ball over. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like you could be the worst team in the league. If you take care of the ball, you're probably going to be in the ball game. So I'm big on the turnovers, man. I'm jumping on that bandwagon as well. We got to take care of the ball, man. That's my little turnover rant right there. I'm looking at my notes here. I don't really have too much. Grayson Allen continues to surprise me. I thought Eric Gordon had a really good game. And come back soon, Devin Booker. And I hope that Bradley Beal is feeling great in the morning.
Yeah. The turnovers is big because they just come in crucial moments too. It's just stupid turnovers. Yeah. That's 13, like you said, is not bad, but when they turn it over, it's probably the worst time to turn the ball over. So
exactly,
that's where it's killing you. So I like the rant. Very nice. Maybe just make a short out of it. Send it to you. But yeah, go ahead and follow us at Suns Jam on Twitter. My beat has asked Matthew, why do you not have an?
Yeah, why are you not on IG?
I don't. Well, Suns Jam is. I'm not on. I'm not big in social media. Like Twitter, I'll do for just Suns Jam. YouTube, and that's it. I don't do anything else. Makes me a little bit more peaceful, not as upset all the time and jealous of everybody I see on Instagram. I don't want to do that stuff. I'm a very jealous guy. But anyways, yeah. So go follow us at Suns Geek, at Suns Jam, at Matthew Lissy, at Darth Voida. Like, subscribe if you have not yet. Is there anything else you want to say before I go ahead and say the final phrase?
Thank you so much for inviting me on, man. Like I said,
thanks for being on.
Nights I am available if you guys ever need me, and thank you for allowing me to stream this to my channel as well. I do appreciate you and John. You guys are amazing. And if you guys are just watching the Suns Jam or myself for the first time, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff in the comments and everything, and appreciate everybody's support. And yeah.
All right. Well, then after that, go home and love your family, everybody.